Yellow Productions presents
a travel guide for visiting the Royal Botanic Gardens Victoria in Melbourne, Australia. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, and entertaining. And in this video, I'll be telling you everything you need to know to visit this garden. This is part of my series on Melbourne. You'll find more links in the description below to more Melbourne videos or at the end of this video. The Botanical Garden has a whole bunch of different gates. There's like 9+ gates, but one of the best gates to come in through is the Observatory Gate because it's the home of the Visitor Center. You can pick up like maps and there's cappuccino. You can get some cappuccino, some ice cream, and then there's the entrance right here. So let's go take a look at the gardens. Well, so now that I've got my coffee, we're walking down the forest walk. Most of the Botanical Garden is paved, but some of it's unpaved. They've got these kind of offshoots, and it feels pretty foresty, like it's kind of neat. It's very calm, very, very serene. And I never knew what an Australian forest looks like. And it's not like a rainforest, but it looks like this. And a lot of the trees, you can't see from that angle, but just trust me, they have signs on them. This one is the cabbage tree palm. Another part of the forest walk, there's a neat little pond over there. Looks very serene. And if we walk down this path a little bit, we get some of these, I don't even know what these trees are called, but I wanted to show you this path. It's this neat elevated path. Looks a little dodgy, There's even, it's kind of rickety, but it's kind of cool. Like, I mean, I think these are, like, this is part of why you come to a botanical garden, to experience nature without the feeling of cars and horns and all those things. The gardens are broken up into many mini gardens. This one right here happens to be Gulliver Volcano. Are you curious what is in the Gulliver Volcano garden? Well, guess what? I'm gonna show you. Here we go. So it's at the top of this volcano, a lot of cacti, succulents, and you thought I was running to come to the next scene. I'm actually running away from the water snakes. I mean, they're not water snakes, they look like snakes though. But in the center of the volcano, there's no lava, it's like water lilies and a water garden. So that's a creative use of a volcano. And they also kind of have this little sign over here to talk to you about a new view of Melbourne. And the sun's not going to be right for this angle, but here there's a picture that shows you what it used to look like in 1867. And then if you compare that with what it looks like today, there's a lot more high-rise buildings, including the Eureka Tower that has an observation deck that you could watch how to go to in my Melbourne travel guide. Find the link to that in the description below. Across from the volcano is another cactus garden, or an arid garden. It's a lot of these plants that probably don't need much in the way of water, but these plants like this one right here, the golden barrel cactus, I mean, these are like many years old, and I guess they could be pretty expensive for people. So they got signs to let you know that taking plants is illegal, and then they have another sign that says, well, hey, if you thought of doing that, there's actually surveillance camera to make sure you really don't take them. So don't take any plants home with you. You could pick up some little ones from the souvenir store. So I was gonna say there's plenty of trash cans around the botanical gardens, but I realized they're not trash cans here, they are rubbish bins. But of course they're really into recycling here, so this actually goes in the recycling bin, which is the fullest one. It's full of cappuccino cups. So that's obviously a popular pastime here in Australia. If it's feeling a little chilly outside, come into the tropical glass house. It's quite warm in here, quite tropical. Reminds me of Singapore, and it's really hot, actually. Just beyond the glass house is the Fern Gully. It kind of looks like Jurassic Park. There's these really big trees, and there's lots of ferns. And this, to me, actually looks a little bit more like a rainforest. And if you go about 2 hours on the Great Ocean Road, you'll see these things in Victoria, which is totally not what I thought Australia looked like. I mean, it's not sandy, and there's no kangaroos. So what I like about the Fern Gully, and what I like about this botanic garden, is it's kind of like visiting nature without being in nature completely. So for someone who's maybe a little bit of a city slicker, I can be above nature, and my shoes don't get dirty because they're pretty clean, you know. And I'd hate to get my shoes dirty in the forest. This bridge is pretty cool. It's got a hole for the tree. They built this bridge after the tree was here, and it's got a tree fern, so a fern that's attached to the tree. There's plenty of spots in the garden to take a rest. Plenty of benches set up here. There's more benches here on the other side. We see some folks even brought a little bit of a, I don't know, like a picnic towel. And if you want a more comfortable enclosed rest, there's the William Tell Rest House. This thing that looks like a little church almost, but it's got seats inside. Great way to get away if it's a rainy day. If you want to experience the lake from the lake, they offer 30-minute guided boat tours, $25 a person. Sold out for today, and if you're hungry when you visit, they've got this thing called the Terrace right here. They have sandwiches, they have scones, and they follow the British tradition of having a traditional high tea. It's not cheap though, $55 a person, but I guess you're probably paying for the view. And if you want to see those boats I was talking about, there's one right back here. It almost looks like a gondola. Kind of romantic. I wonder if he sings. Final part of the walk, I'm walking here from the mainland botanical garden across the bridge, across the lake, to what they call Long Island. Yes, this is Long Island. I'm trying to find the Staten Island ferry, but I'm not sure where it is. Maybe you could help me out. But hey, this garden, if you are coming to Melbourne, you should totally check it out. I've really enjoyed it. Probably allocate a couple hours if you're visiting the garden, a couple hours for a good stroll, assuming you're not having high tea, you're not taking a boat ride, but I think you'll enjoy it here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Click that subscribe button below. Hit the bell if you want to get notified of new fun, informative travel videos every week. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Links in the description below as well. Or you might enjoy watching some of my other videos. Click either of them to watch. You know you want to. Click one. Click one now. Why are you still listening to me?